I told you what holistic wellness means. It means, detoxing your environment, your mindset, your relationships, your food, the chemicals that
Yeah.
you use. Well, no doctor's going to do that for you, right? Only
Right.
you can do that for you. I thought I was on my deathbed because I was in so much pain, and I had 2 children by that time, and my
Yeah.
migraines were more painful than giving birth naturally to my 2 children. I finally made it after 3 years. It was like
Okay.
exactly as I heard it was predicted, 3 years. And
Yeah.
I started making more money than I did at NASA.
When you look back in hindsight, everything is 2020. In hindsight, you make mistakes, we're learning from it. In hindsight, be yesterday and your tomorrow. In hindsight, it's so much clearer now.
In a world often dominated by fast-paced living and instant gratification, how can we cultivate a holistic approach to health that prioritizes both physical and mental well-being? Welcome to Hindsight the Podcast. I'm Lee Jones, your host. Today, I'm joined by Mayim Vega, a visionary holistic life coach, author, speaker, and entrepreneur. Mayim's journey from NASA computer scientist to Silicon Valley digital marketer to her current path of guiding others toward holistic wellness is a testament to the power of resilience and making intentional choices. Welcome, Mayim. Where are you joining us from today?
Yes. So I am in the great country of Dallas, Texas. I'm just kidding. But I'm originally from California. I moved out here in 2014, and then before that, I was born in the Philippines actually, and then I came here when I was around 3 or 4 years old. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Look, so I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here on Hindsight the Podcast, and I can't wait to learn more about who Mayim is and the journey that you took to be who you are today. And look, as a former NASA computer scientist and Silicon Valley digital marketer, what unexpected lessons did you learn from your corporate career that have been invaluable in your journey as a holistic life coach? So we're going to start right there, and then I'm going to bring it back a little bit. So we talk about your whole journey right there. You can talk about that, but then we're going to talk about some of those obstacles, some of those health challenges that you went through, and how you overcame those.
Yeah, sure. So um, before 2003,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, I was working at the NASA Ames Research Center in Moffett Field, California, and it was a nonprofit. It wasn't really corporate. It was a nonprofit organization. It is a nonprofit organization. It's government
Mm-hmm.
based, of course, and it was really awesome working there as a research environment. So there wasn't a lot of corporate pressure. Um, it was very relaxed, and it was very research based. My team was responsible for a program called iLab, and we basically helped other scientists and researchers facilitate their experiments and create virtual prototypes of their proposed models
Mm-hmm.
of nanotechnology, bots, or aircraft or spacecraft before they actually built a prototype, because it's much cheaper to build a virtual model of it. So our program would help run experiments for that, and to make sure that it would stand stand in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lot of fun, and I had a coworker he programmed the Mars rover, and he was
Oh, wow.
also responsible for gathering the data that came back from Mars, and
Mm-hmm.
processing it and analyzing it, and also sending it off to other scientists. And so, I got to see some pictures from his work that the rover took. And then in 2003, I got married, and I had a baby 9 months later in
Uh-huh.
November. And I decided, I took the 6 months, leave off of work. And then after that, I went back to work. And NASA had a really great childcare system. It was right next to my work, and I could, go and breastfeed my baby and stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
go back to work. And but I I felt like it was very unnatural, and I really wanted to stay home with my child. And so I told my husband that I wanted to quit my career and become a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you make a lot of money, I don't think we can afford that. And I said, well, I'll start my own business from home.
Mm-hmm.
And as a computer scientist, as a programmer, I thought that the easiest thing that I could do as a programmer and working from home is become a digital marketer and help people with their, help companies with their websites and stuff like that, and to get leads and sales that way. And so I didn't know any entrepreneurs in my life,
Wow.
but I knew theoretically it could be done. I knew
Mm-hmm.
that there people existed that had done it successfully. So I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, if they can do it, why can't I?
Right.
If I can work at NASA, I can have my own business. Why not?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It doesn't seem like it's as hard. And it wasn't as like, it was easier to get my NASA job, but what was hard about being an entrepreneur was hanging in there, because I did hear that it takes on average 3 years to succeed in business, and that the
Yeah.
first 3 years, one of my business coaches, she says, the first year just try to break even. If you can break even the first year,
Yeah.
you've done an excellent job, because a lot of people, they don't even do that. And so I'm like, wow, okay. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
I was basically doing for maybe 3 years, and a big part of it was I didn't get any help. I didn't get any business coaching. I didn't follow any programs. I was just like, whatever I could think of in my head, I just did it, and like
Okay.
no real guidance. And because I didn't know that there was anything out there. I didn't know there was such thing as business coaches, or
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about taking a course, which I know there is now.
Yeah.
I was just like, and all there was Craigslist, in terms of,
Yeah. Yeah.
online advertising. It was before, well, it was when Google was just a baby, so I did
Yeah.
it, and I went through all these, hard clients and late nights,
Mm-hmm.
and I finally made it after 3 years. It was like
Okay.
exactly as I heard it was predicted, 3 years. And
Yeah.
I started making more money than I did at NASA, surpassed my income.
Oh
And that was
wow.
great. But then eventually, the stress of being an entrepreneur, not really understanding how to do it properly, really got to me. And I got really sick, and I started getting really bad migraines, and I
Mm.
never even had like a headache before this. So
Right.
I thought I was on my deathbed, because I was in so much pain, and I had 2 children by that time, and my
Yeah.
migraines were more painful than giving birth naturally to my 2 children. So
Yeah.
it was really
Wow.
bad, and
Yeah.
I couldn't function in my business anymore. I couldn't take care of my children anymore. It was very debilitating. All I could do was like just sit down or stay in bed.
Mm.
And so this one night I couldn't even sleep. So I asked my husband to rush me to the emergency room, which he did. And
Yeah.
at the hospital, they ran a bunch of tests on me. And the doctor thought at first that maybe I had a brain tumor. And
Mm.
then after a bunch of tests and a CT scan, the doctor came back and was like, hey, good news. You don't have a brain tumor.
Yeah. That's great
But
news.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good news. But
Uh,
she said, we couldn't find anything wrong with you. So, there's
mm.
nothing wrong with you. you know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
just have a bad headache. She said. So,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, this is crazy. How can there be nothing wrong with me if I think I'm on my deathbed because of this excruciating pain? And so
Yeah.
she gave me some really strong painkillers, but they didn't address the root cause. They kind of numbed it a little bit, but
Yeah.
eventually they just didn't work. All the
So,
pain.
okay. So really quick, how long were you experiencing these migraines?
Um, maybe a month or so.
Yeah, that's too long.
A month or
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
around that time. And
okay.
at first I was just taking Tylenol or whatever over the counter stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
eventually it stopped working. And same thing with the medication that they gave me, it just eventually stopped working because they don't address the root cause. You don't get aches and pains because of a lack of pharmaceutical medications.
Right.
From my experience, they never address the root cause. And also, that's what I've seen with my students is, now with my holistic healer certification program, I see that we're addressing the root cause now. My students are addressing the root cause: vitamin deficiency, improper diet, lack of sleep, lack of exercise, different things. These are the root cause because these are the things that our body really needs.
Okay.
Our
Okay.
body needs certain nutrients, our body needs certain minerals, our body needs rest, our body needs
Yeah.
sunshine. These are what we were meant to thrive on, not a pharmaceutical pill.
So
And
to be clear, and I don't mean to keep cutting you off, but I'm
no,
trying to
cut
fit.
me off. It's okay.
So for clarity, the medical officials never diagnosed you, never figured it out, never got to the root cause. Did they give you anybody ever say, well, maybe it's stress, or
No,
maybe it's they
no,
never give you anything? Okay.
nothing. Yeah,
Wow.
right, exactly. Like, why couldn't
Yeah.
they? Why couldn't they say that? Right? Why couldn't they at least say that?
Yeah.
And my theory is that they don't want to help people with the root cause. Not that specific doctor. I'm not saying she didn't want to help me with the root cause. I'm
Just the
saying
medical.
the system is not designed to help us with the root causes, because if they could address the root cause, we wouldn't be so dependent on the system.
Yeah.
If I didn't keep on going, if I didn't find my own way to nurse myself back to health, I think eventually I would just get worse. I would just get worse. I would start taking, I would take the drug that she gave me. I would ask for maybe stronger painkillers. There's that roller coaster, there's that pharmaceutical roller coaster, when you take one drug and then it stops working. So you take a different drug and then you get side effects from that drug. So you have to take another drug
Ain't
to,
that the
to ward
truth?
off the side effects. And so you become dependent on the system. And because
Yeah.
you're never addressing the root cause, whatever the root cause is, becomes a greater, more serious, maybe more chronic disease that, maybe later on you need surgery. Never ending roller coaster. So one of the first things I began my studies. I took a certification program in nutrition and herbalism and holistic health. And one of the things that I found is that I was severely B12 deficient, and that if I would take B12, my migraines would go away. So I started doing that. Now, so they would still come,
Right.
but I knew that I could take B12 and they would usually go away. So then the question became, well, why am I B12 deficient? And then, through my studies, I learned that I was B12 deficient because I wasn't getting enough animal products, because the main source of B12 is through animal products in the
Okay.
human diet. And then,
Wow.
so because I was vegetarian,
Yeah.
trying to be vegan, actually, because I thought that was healthy. But for me, and at that time, it wasn't healthy. So then the question became, okay, so there's a lot of vegetarians and vegans. They're not all getting crazy migraines. Why am I getting migraines? And why do I have to eat animal products? So when I started eating animal products, I didn't need the B12 anymore. So I knew that was addressing the root cause.
Okay.
And so then I realized that, I studied and I realized that stress depletes people of B12. And so the vegetarian vegan diet, in addition to the stress,
Yeah.
was causing the B12 deficiency. And then why was I under so much stress? Well, because I didn't know how to trust the process in business. I didn't know that, when you have a job, it's a steady paycheck. There's nothing to trust except your employer. Do you trust
Right.
your employer to give you your paycheck? Yes. Well, then you just do a good job and they'll give you a paycheck. But business is different. Business is more like farming. You plant the seed, you water it, and then you wait. And you don't get a harvest every single day or every 2 weeks on the dot. You get it, but it's cumulative, and sometimes it's a compound effect. It's not steady, but it can be compound if you're doing it organically and you're serving people correctly, not, cheating people or anything like that,
Right.
And, but I didn't, it's hard when you've just started out and no one tells you this,
Yeah.
someone did tell me, 3 years, but besides that, it was hard, and I never gave up, but it was like, when, and,
So did you go through, and you're probably not finished your thought here.
it's
Did
okay.
you go through all of the learning of running a business on your own, or did you eventually go out, seek out a business coach or seek out some assistance at the library? So how did you go about learning the business?
No, for my first business, I did not seek any
Okay.
any learning. I just kind of like,
Yeah.
I was looking to see what other people did, and I tried to just copy it, which
Okay.
is, that is definitely a valid form of learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
But not having a coach, you don't see the inside of things, right? So I could only see the outside of what they were doing, and
Right.
I knew how to I knew how to I knew how to build assets online. I knew how to build websites, program websites. I could do graphic design. I could do
Yeah.
eventually social media. I could do all those things because I'm a technical person.
Right.
But no, but it was the business side that it would have been nice to get coaching. So what happened was after I studied, the nutrition, herbalism, and holistic health, I decided to. What are you doing there? Getting coffee or something?
No, I'm putting this fan on me.
Okay.
I need
I was
to
gonna say,
turn
I
the
can have some.
AC on in here.
That's a hot. Okay.
I do
Oh,
got this one. I do have the coffee just because I'm a
oh,
coffee drinker,
I didn't have time to
but
get coffee.
it is hot in here.
Mm.
There you go. Drink up.
Oh, yeah. So it wasn't until after I finished my certification programs in nutrition, herbalism, holistic health that I decided to start my second business, open a new business, which was in holistic health and healing, doing health
Yeah.
coaching as I
Yeah.
studied for, because that one, it was like my passion. It's like,
Okay. Okay.
because how many people know people like me? Like, I know a lot of
Actually.
people like me who aren't really finding real help from the medical system, and a lot of doctors that don't know much about nutrition
Yeah.
and herbalism and things like that. Actually have people in the medical field, doctors, nurses, medical technicians, nurse practitioners,
Mm-hmm.
etc. These kinds of professions learning from me because they
It's
don't study
awesome.
these things in medical school. I was
Yeah.
surprised when I started getting professionals learning
Yeah.
from me, but apparently they also think that the modern medical system is lacking.
Yeah.
You
Take
know,
this pill. Take that pill. Yeah.
yeah.
That's it,
Um,
man. It's a business, and you're absolutely right. I mean, obviously there are some doctors who maybe they'll give you pretty good diagnosis, but it's just like a now here I am, a conveyor belt where they just sending you the medication. It's all about coming back. The drug dealers, they want the repeat user, right, to keep
oh, yeah,
coming
yeah,
back,
yeah.
and that's how the business goes. And it's unfortunate because, to your point, they only focus on the symptoms. They don't focus on the root cause and what's really making, and they don't really care. They just want to make
Well,
their money.
I don't think it's them. I think when someone goes to learn to become a doctor,
Okay.
they believe they are gonna learn how to heal people. I think it's more the pharmaceutical companies
Yeah, it's the
fu-
business.
who fund and sponsor the medical schools, and they lobby through representatives in Congress, and
Absolutely.
then they get the regulation agencies to pass laws and in their favor, and
Yeah.
things like that. I think it's more that on the corporate level than on the doctor level. I think.
Okay. Okay. I'll take that one. It's just getting into the business. You go into, you learn about trying to help people out, and then you get into the business. You play
That's all they're
football.
taught. That's all they're taught.
Yeah, you play football. You want to do sports and do this, and then you learn the business and you hate it. Music industry, we see what's going on in that. I don't know if you're paying attention to the news right now, but then you get in the business and it's not what you thought it was. I just want to entertain. So I
You didn't know
absolutely,
that you
I
were going to be
absolutely,
controlled by higher
yeah.
powers. Yes,
Politicians,
exactly.
all of that. Absolutely, I
Yep,
got you.
yep,
I
yep.
got you. Hey, so really quick, so you started doing holistics. what does holistic wellness mean to you, and how did you integrate it into your own life after your health crisis?
Yeah.
So you did a
So,
lot of learning. Go ahead.
so holistic to me means body, mind, spirit. And so I have a new detox program and a book that I'm writing, and that's going to come out hopefully soon. It's going through an
Congrats.
editorial process, but and it's about, okay, the first chapter is about environmental toxins, right?
Yeah.
Things in the air, in the water, maybe in our house, the chemicals that we're using, that are hurting us, and what to use instead, and what to do instead to avoid those environmental toxins. And then
Yeah.
second, another thing is toxins that we eat. So the things in our food supply, GMOs, pesticides, junk food, things like that, chemicals in our food
Yeah.
that are there to preserve the food, the shelf life, not preserve our health, right? And then I talk about different types of cleanses that you can do. It's not one size fits all. There's no one diet that everyone should do. It really depends on what your body needs. Like, I don't want to say that vegetarianism or veganism is bad. It can be very good. I became vegetarian vegan because I found a lot of energy. I got a lot of energy when I
Okay.
first became vegetarian vegan, but long term, it was not good for my health, and also for that specific stage in my life, it also isn't good. And then later on, I also got an autoimmune disorder, hypothyroidism, and in order to heal myself from that, I went on a carnivore diet, where I ate very little plant products. I ate like 90% meat, animal products,
Okay.
and a little bit of dairy. And that's what helped nurse me back to health from
Wow.
hypothyroidism. And so I talk about that. And then I also talk about, toxins in our lifestyle that are keeping us sick, like being in front of a
Yeah.
computer too long and not getting outside,
Yeah.
and exercising and getting sunshine enough. These are toxic, it's part of holistic
Yeah.
health and healing. People don't understand how, in holistic circles, some people are saying sitting is the new smoking. So that's how
Oh,
so that's
let me
how
let me get up and stretch. No.
yeah, exactly, that's how unhealthy it can be. Also
Yeah. Yeah.
commuting in a car, and
Yeah.
like we just sit all the time, and that's not natural. That's one of my guides. What is natural? What do the animals do? Did they sit all day for 8 to
Yeah.
10, 12 hours a day? Animals don't do that.
Yeah.
And what else? So there's lifestyle. There's also mindset and relationships. Toxic relationships,
Okay.
that can be that. I mean, stress can cause or aggravate chronic diseases.
Yeah.
Heart disease, diabetes, cancer.
Yeah.
When we're in
Wow.
stressful situations, we don't make the best decisions. We don't get the best sleep. Etc. We don't eat very healthy. we
Right.
we tend to go towards the junk food because our mind is just not, on self-care. It's on fight or flight mode, right? And so that can be
That's
detrimental
true.
to our health.
Yeah.
And then just the spiritual aspect, the personal spiritual aspect, can also be contribute to our health or illness. So that's what I mean by holistic, is deal with the every part of you.
Damn, I think you answered this question, but if you didn't, I'm going to ask you this question, and you could say, "Lee, I just answered that question with what I just." Can you name at least three key principles of holistic wellness?
I mean, I can answer it a different way and say something different. Okay.
I said at least three, so you already did three. Can you give me three more? I guess I don't know.
No, you asked me what holistic wellness is, right? Now you're
Yeah, yeah,
asking me
yeah.
what are three key principles. Okay. So I
Right,
think I
right,
think
right.
that's different. I think that's different.
Okay, okay, good,
I
good.
think I think I would say the key principle, one key principle is that the key to holistic health and healing is knowledge. I believe in the Bible. I'm Jewish, and it says in the Bible that my people perish for lack of knowledge. And I think that's true, not just in a spiritual sense, but in every sense, actually, like historically, politically, and health-wise as well.
Yeah.
We have so much. That's the main reason why why we're sick is because there's a lot of propaganda out there that says
Right.
that vitamins and herbs are dangerous, that
Yeah.
nutrition doesn't really have a big effect on your it can keep you healthy, but if you get sick, it's not going to help you very much.
Yeah.
And that's false. Like that is exactly
Yeah.
nutrition is
Yeah.
exactly what healed me of and other people, my students, of
Right.
things that the pharmaceutical company could not heal them of. I have one of my students is a doctor, and she said that she used to take allergy medications every week, and I taught her. Okay, I taught her
Mm-hmm.
about some some vitamins that she could take for allergies, and she doesn't have to take the medications anymore. And so knowledge is really, really key. And
Yeah.
I think the reason why we don't have the knowledge is because it's suppressed, and it's poo-pooed on, like, oh, that's dangerous, consult your
Yeah.
doctor. And it's like, doctors don't study this. They're telling us to
Right.
consult our doctor before we, take a vitamin or an herb or try a diet, when doctors don't study. I mean, I know because some of my students are doctors, and they're like, we don't study nutrition. Or I bought,
Mm.
or one medical professional told me, we bought the books, we were required to buy the books, we weren't required to read them. Or
Oh.
I took one class in nutrition in medical school. That's it.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
she wouldn't know more than me. I took many classes, and I've
Yeah.
read many
Yeah. Yeah.
books
Yeah.
on nutrition and herbs and vitamins. I know
Right.
better than a doctor on nutrition. Why is it so dangerous? And then they have to contact a doctor first. And I have to tell people that too, because I'm not a medical doctor. I have to say, I'm not a medical doctor, so you have to consult your doctor before you try any of
Yeah.
these things. I have to advise you this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's propaganda, right? It's like backwards. It's like, why do they have to consult someone that never studied this, that was never required to study this? So that's partly why, and partly it's because they don't want, they say that it's dangerous, and so they want to make sure that this is not dangerous for them and their condition. But really, someone who really studied this, they would know that if it's dangerous or not. That's part of
Right.
this. That's part of the studies. If they've studied properly.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, wait. That's just number one. Hold on.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
number one.
Okay.
Okay. Number
All
one is
right.
knowledge is the key. Okay.
Yep.
Number two.
I like you. I like that.
Number two is that people give up too quickly, too soon, with holistic things because pharmaceutical pills are very powerful, but with specific doses, right? For example, let's say like some kind of pharmaceutical pill, like maybe for high blood pressure or something like that, right? It's like this
Mm-hmm.
small. You take
Mm-hmm.
one. Let's say you take one or two a day, right? And that's it.
Yeah.
That's how powerful it is, one or two a day. Whereas
Yeah.
if I recommend an herb or even an herbal pill, they might have to take like 6 of them because it's not in that concentrated form like the pill is. And that's
Yeah.
partly what makes this pill dangerous. Whereas if someone dropped a pharmaceutical pill in my house, one of my friends or something, let's say, for example, and my 4-year-old took it and thought it was candy because it's like red and yellow or something, and ate
Right.
it, well, I would have to call poison control, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if someone dropped like a vitamin C pill in my house or some kind of herbal pill, and my baby, my 4-year-old ate it, maybe she'll have a tummy ache, maybe she'll get diarrhea, but I don't need to call poison control. I don't have anything that
Got it.
my child would have to take, that I would have to call poison control if one of my children accidentally took a dose. And so it's extremely safe.
Okay.
But because it's extremely safe, you also have to take it in much higher doses than a pharmaceutical
Right.
drug. And that's just
Yeah.
how it is, and that's partly what makes it safe. And our bodies often have this mechanism of, when you take too much of something that's natural, you will get diarrhea, or maybe you'll vomit.
Yeah.
but
It's
at
gonna
least
kick
you
it
don't
out.
have to call poison control, and
Yeah,
they don't have to
yeah.
pump your stomach out or something like that, maybe a little
Right.
charcoal, but it's not like you're going to die. It's more like
Yeah,
you're going
yeah,
to get a tummy ache. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's
I
so much
take it.
safer, which means that you
Okay.
have to take much higher doses. Okay. So,
Okay.
so don't give up, or you have to take it for a longer time, but always remember that you're addressing the root cause. So it might take longer, or you might have
That's
to
the
take
thing.
higher doses, but you are giving your body something that it actually needed. Whether maybe it's diet, maybe it's food, and so if you just it's changing the way you eat, and that
Hmm.
could take a while for to change the way you eat, and to get used to that. But you have to be patient and realize that it might take more and it might take longer, but you're addressing the root cause usually
Okay.
with natural things. And then the third thing
Hmm.
is that there are no holistic doctors, and I got this from Dr. Vernon Coleman. He's a holistic. I
Okay.
call him a holistic doctor, but he says there are no holistic doctors. There's
Okay.
only holistic patients. You are your own best healer, because I told you what holistic wellness means. It means detoxing your environment, your mindset, your relationships, your food, the chemicals that
Yeah.
you use. Well, no doctor's going to do that for you, right? Only
Right.
you can do that for you. You have to take charge of your own health and figure out everything in your life that is harming you. And that's part of what my detox program is for. It helps people decipher, discern everything in their lives that could be causing them illness and disease.
Okay.
You are your own best healer.
All right. Let's talk briefly about the Holisticpreneur blueprint and how can it help individual entrepreneurs achieve lasting, you know, just lasting success.
Yes. So I did get business coaching for my second business, for my health and wellness business. And that was really nice. Um, and basically that's what the Holisticpreneur program is all about.
Okay.
It's a summary of the knowledge from my business coaching for my holistic health and wellness business, and it's put into that program.
Yeah.
It basically teaches people how to start an online coaching business. It's specifically designed for people who want to start a health or life coaching business, and they're already certified for health or life coaching.
Yeah.
It could be applied to other businesses, but
Yeah.
when the way I speak in the program, it's designed mostly for health and life coaching businesses, and it shows them how to build a high ticket coaching program, and how to build it
Mm-hmm.
and market it and
Mm-hmm.
deliver it and scale it.
Oh wow.
So
Okay, that's
that's
the thing.
in a nutshell. Oh, yeah.
So how many businesses do you have going right now?
Well, I just have one business name,
Okay.
so I like to call it different products, right? So
Okay. Okay.
I have a health coaching certification program,
Okay.
and then in my health coaching certification program, I in the certification program I teach naturopathic herbalism, holistic life coaching, and online business and marketing, because
Oh.
that's I believe everything that you need to
Yeah.
become a successful holistic healer. Because after becoming a naturopathic herbalist, there's no like jobs for
Mm-hmm.
naturopathic herbalists. You have to become an entrepreneur. You have to, you know, carve your own path. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that's great personally, because that is what has enabled me to be a stay-at-home mom for 20 years now. My oldest
Nice.
is 20 years old. He's also an entrepreneur now. He's in digital marketing.
Okay.
He
Okay.
majored in computer science also,
Yeah.
and he helps me sometimes also. But anyways, the online business marketing aspect is what has helped me to be a stay-at-home mom. I have 7 children now, plus 2 more that I take care of.
Oh, I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
and it's being an online entrepreneur that has helped me to surpass my my salary at NASA, but also be a stay-at-home mom and homeschool my children. I mean that
Yeah.
means I work less hours for more than I made at NASA, and like
Yeah.
that's what I want for my children and for my students. You know,
Yeah. Okay.
and then the holistic life coaching part of it is that's how that's the mental and spiritual aspect. You know, I told you
Right.
there's the nutrition and the herbs and the diet, right? But
Yeah.
when it comes to the mental spiritual, that's where the life coaching comes in. You know, if herbalism and nutrition is the alternative to pharmaceutical medication, well, I would
Yeah.
say that holistic life coaching is the alternative to psychiatry.
Mm.
Really, not,
Oh,
you know, and I can't say, you know, we don't treat
I
people with
know. I know.
we don't treat people with psychiatric diseases, but we
Yeah.
do help people with their mindset and help them to overcome challenges, because a
I
lot of the
love it.
challenges that we have in our, you know, like I'm not going to be helping people who are schizophrenic, obviously.
Right. Right.
um,
Right.
but I personally, I was diagnosed with bipolar, and
Uh huh.
you know, I don't take medication for it, but being bipolar or ADD or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
things like that, it comes, you know, you have your own unique challenges as an entrepreneur, and
Okay.
so helping, you know, dealing with mindset issues, which life coaching does, can really
Yeah.
help you achieve your life's goals, regardless of what your you know, your diagnoses
Right.
are. So, so those are like my three offerings. Is natural, you know, we teach
I
naturopathic
like it.
herbalism, we provide holistic life coaching, and then we also teach online business marketing, because that's everything you need really to succeed, and that's
Right.
everything. That's like my life, you know, my life wisdom and
Yeah.
journey packaged into one certification program. But some people don't need the certification, they
Okay.
only need the online business and marketing, or some people, they only want the holistic life coaching, they don't want the whole package. That's why I have
Right.
like basically three different products.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. So look, I asked you a few questions, and thank you for journaling us through your career with NASA, getting the migraines, figuring out like, hey, the medical community is not helping me out. I need to do this on my own. Starting your businesses, having a wonderful family, and being able to spend more time. But now, is there anything that you like to discuss that I haven't brought up or we haven't covered up to now?
um I think the one of the things that have really helped me through every single challenge in life, whether it's I had two health crises where I thought I was on my deathbed, or transitioning into a new business,
Yeah.
business model. Not really a new business. I'm just, you know, I just do business under my name.
Okay.
It's one business, just different, you know, products, I guess.
Yeah.
But the thing that has given me the confidence and the determination and the tenacity, you know, to really succeed in
Yeah.
personal health and, you know, homeschooling my children and just everything. Also, you know, I wanted to divorce twice in my
Hmm.
marriage, you know,
Yeah.
but we,
Hung
but
in
we,
there.
but we always stuck in there, and you
Good.
know,
Good.
and I think what really has gotten me through all of that is my faith, in
Okay.
God, and my
Yeah.
belief that there is a higher power who is good and wants good and rewards people for pursuing goodness, you know,
Mm.
and hanging in there and not giving up.
Yeah.
And I think that is the key to my success in all areas of life: my marriage, my family, my business, my health, you know, everything.
Yeah.
I believe in the God that wants to heal my marriage, wants to heal my body, wants me to succeed, you know, in my business
Yeah.
ventures, etc. And that's really the key
Wow.
to all my success. I would want to say that.
That is an amazing and wonderful and very, relevant point message. So take heed, everyone who's watching right now. And ma'am, how can the listeners connect with you and learn more about your work?
Yeah, if they go just to my website, mayimvega.com, MAYIMVEGA.com, it actually it links to my different coaching programs, whether the health certification or the life coaching or the online business and marketing. And if you sign up for any of my email lists or programs or anything, please let me know that you heard about it from Lee Jones, host of Hindsight Podcast, or just Lee Jones. If you just say Lee Jones, that's good enough. Please let me know, and I will have a special gift, special deal for you.
Hey, but thank you so much, Mayim Vega. Your story is truly inspiring, and you've really dedicated your life to helping others now. And one thing that I really would like to say is many times we have a calling or a through line, and it's where you figure out what it is that you're meant to do or what it is that you feel that you should be doing. And it takes a while for those things to align. Sometimes it takes medical crises to figure it out. Sometimes it just takes reading a book and you get an aha. But for you, you've gone through the journey, you've gone through a lot of steps, you've shared it with us. It's not always a straight path to success, but if you make those steady incremental gains, you too can be successful working on your mindset, using some holistic practices along with medical, because we're not going to say we don't use medical, but use a combination of those two. But your insights on overcoming challenges, embracing holistic practices, and creating a fulfilling life, I believe are really valuable. So thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an honor to be here.
Oh, wow. And look, for the listeners, be sure to subscribe to Hindsight the Podcast for more astronomical interviews and practical advice from more phenomenal guests like Mayim. Until next time, remember, your journey is unique, and with the right mindset and the tools, you can overcome any obstacle. I'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for joining me here on Hindsight the Podcast. I'm your host, Lee Jones. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did. And while I have you here, why don't you take your mouse, go over and click on that subscribe button? No, not right there. Over to the right. No, down, right there. Boom. Thank you. Now, thank you for subscribing to Hindsight the Podcast. I'm your host, Lee Jones.